So fourth spec, we've thought of, you know, demon spec for the hunters, so you're like a demon hunter. We've thought of, other classes like you can have
Dual wield shaman
shield.
tank
Yeah,
shields.
yeah. I mean, there's tons of stuff that Blizzard can do with the possible fourth spec. I personally think it'll never happen. And I've told Zara this. The reasoning why is because they're already having a hard enough time balancing 31 talents. Adding one talent to every single class, that's 11 more talents. That's going to be 42 talents they would have to balance. That is going to be insane for them. And just another excuse for them to say, like, well, that's why the numbers are so ridiculous.
Half of them share talents. The talent trees on some things are the same.
I know.
Bullshit.
Yeah, it could be like
They got
weapon,
more
like
money
weapon
than any other game
configuration.
developer. I don't want to hear it's too hard. You get a bunch of interns, you pick the real smart ones, you put them in a room, and you tell them they can't leave until they figure it out. And you lock the door, and you just throw in hot pockets and one of those portable toilet things.
So, Ben, what do you think about this idea?
Well, every once in a while I always sit there and think, God, it'd be really cool if we had do something else on this, character, and like fourth spec, like with the warrior. Obviously, you could make that gladiator warrior a fourth spec. However, I do kind of like the fact that I can switch it out of tank, just straight into gladiator stance and not, even miss a lick. Just got to make sure I'm not in combat. But, fourth spec, like, I don't know, there should be different ways. Like, maybe you could make your fourth spec a thing like that, just a stance change. Like make the enhanced shaman have a stance that they could go into, and they could do that dual shield wielding tank kind of thing. And, just make it a stance deal. Like, like the way druids used to be, where you were either a, feral DPS or you were but you were in the same spec, and you had just a few differences in your talents. You could easily do something like that, I would think. Just make it a stance change.
Nah, I don't like that. What do you think, sir?
Nah, I think you need fourth hole specs.
Yeah, me too.
And, like, you can already see it where, druids had to have the fourth spec because they were bears and they were kitty, and it got ridiculous. Like, it was insane after a while.
And I just want to go on record that I miss that. Bear catting was awesome. There are so
It
many
had its
times
advantages.
I can think of where
It had its
I
advantages.
I just freaking saved our bacon because I was able to go from cat to bear, throw all my cooldowns up, res the tank, and just go right back to DPS. And that's just total awesome. If you ever get a chance to do that, it was just
You
freaking
can't
badass.
anymore.
And you can't do it anymore.
I understand there were some cool things about it, but I think, like, I don't know, we're kind of overdue for fourth specs. Like, if you think about it now, they even brought another class that has a technical fourth spec now with the warriors and their gladiator stance. You know what I mean? Just like the druid. It's a DPS that, it gears just like a tank would. And, that's neat and all, but it's, I think it is deserving of its own full spec. And it goes to show you that they're doing something, where they're adding to one of the classes to see if it becomes a viable thing. And for the most part, it is kind of viable. Like, people are doing it, and they're getting it done, and they're actually main raiding as gladiators, and that's kind of neat. And I could see in the next...
my shield.
Yeah, I mean, the tanks aren't very happy about it, of course, but hey, the shields need to go to, everyone. Maybe there needs to be more shields and the chance to drop it need to be better, obviously. And I think that in the next expansion, we might see warriors with a fourth spec. Maybe this is a test run for at least them to, will gladiators be something. But, like, thing is, it's like, well, what are their fourth specs? You know what I mean? Like, and I've had ideas over the years, at least for some classes, like, Vol'jin is a shadow hunter. Why can't we be shadow hunters? New fourth spec, shadow hunter. plays different. You cast all magical shots, you know? Your bow gets, you imbue your bow almost like a Death Knight enchants their weapon, and it becomes a magical bow type thing, you know? It's on fire or something like that, you know? And yeah, you, like, the gear is like, you know, well, you already share with Shaman, but you actually use int now instead of agility, you know? Like, I think that's the cool thing. You know, monks do, you know, they do the melee DPS, they do healing, they do tanking. Hey, why don't we make them a range DPS, you know? That lightning thing and there was that heat wave that they do, you know? Maybe add a couple other things. Throw it out there, you know?
Same thing with the Paladin. You make the whole ranged spec.
Yeah, remember Shockadins? That was a thing.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it worked kind of, and, you know, got fixed and then it didn't, but, you know, it was a thing and it worked for like a minute. Now, some people do remember back in vanilla, rogues were tanks because they had so much dodge rating through agility.
Yeah,
like,
evasion. You
know, there's something you could do. You know, make a rogue tank like where all they stat is like dodge and parry. You know what I mean? They have, you know, they use their combo points to put up, like, increase their chance to dodge and parry this and that, and, you know, maybe some type of, you know, smoke screen or something like that where you know, they can't be attacked by the boss. Like, they kind of do some things like that now. That would be kind of neat. Like I always said, like, I've seen Enhancement Shamans back in Wrath tank full dungeons. I mean, hold threat off of good DPS that were stomping face. The whole thing. Tank boss, kite, you know, the works. And I think it would be kind of neat to see a shield-using shaman, because they use them. You know, the whole joke about dual-wielding shields, that was kind of a joke, you know, but whatever. Like an actual shield-using shaman that, like, maybe they earth shield themselves, and that has a chance to heal them. And whenever it goes off, it increases their chance to dodge. Only when it goes off, so they have to take a hit, get the little bit of heal from it. But when it's done, they get a chance to dodge or parry or block for like 20% or whatever the equivalent is, you know, for like the other tanks use for their cooldowns. That would be neat. And they can do like the Riptides for like a self-healing on themselves, the way Paladins can do that, what is it, Eternal Flame or something like that I used to do. Or Ward of Glory on themselves, you know, something around that thing, and have them so they use agility, you know, and dodge, that kind of stuff.
Now,
I think
you say we were
good
joking about
idea.
the dual shields. I said bullshit. I want to look like that freaking first boss in Alkindune. I want my warrior to look like that.
There you go. And obviously, like, the warriors already have their fourth spec, which is, you know, the
Gladiator.
Yeah, the gladiator stance. But what I think they should do is they keep using the shields, but I think they should take it and have it so they use two-handed weapons. They use pole arms, you know, to be more like, I mean, think of like Spartans, you know, from 300 movie. Like, that's the type of gladiator we're looking for, you know, and change some of the abilities, give them new abilities, you know, like, you know, thrust or, you know, stuff like that, and, you know, heroic, you know, I could go on, you know, what each ability does, all that stuff, but, like, you know, the few ideas I had were, like, you know, give monks a ranged DPS spec, shadow hunters, because they exist in the game, tanking rogues, tanking shamans, because that's one thing that's always hurt in this game. People don't like to play tanks because they're afraid of being responsible. So, like, always waiting on tanks. And I think if you make more tank options available, you'll get more tanks out there because people are excited to try new things and they're willing to, you know, do certain things. Yeah. I'm not really sure about Death Knights. I couldn't really think of too many things. I mean, something like you got Blood Presence, Frost Presence, Unholy Presence. I mean, I don't know.
It
something.
Just bring back the whole tank in any spec thing. That's what I like.
Maybe make so they have 2 DPS specs and 2 tanking specs. That would be a
cool.
Neat thing
to do.
That
would be cool.
Yeah,
and one
Frost tanking was awesome.
Oh yeah, that
be brought back.
Frost tanking was awesome. And the other one that I thought of that would be really, really awesome, they could maybe do tank or just, I think, Warlock, Demon form, melee DPS. They're no longer range.
That's
they
awesome.
When fights start and they are in combat, they can transform into like a dreadlord, and they have a whole new set of spells they cast. Just like when you go into like boomkin form, like your bar changes, or you go to metamorphosis, your bar changes, stuff like that. And you are a melee DPS.
That would
You
be
know,
sick.
you do all types of things. You know, they can use the stuff that warlocks use. There are demons that do melee. Like with the was it the Hellfire something they used to do, where
Well,
just being
just
around
make them like an unholy death knight. Like kind of in that kind of category. I mean, I think that'd be very interesting.
But I think that would be pretty neat, like to do something like that. Like, why not? Like, we've been saying, I used to come up with that, or I used to always say, like, why can't we eventually ascend? Like, there are NPC classes in the game that are ascended to a different level. Vol'jin, he's not a marksman hunter, he's not a survival hunter, he's not Beastmaster. He's a shadow hunter. He is on a whole nother level we can't achieve. Karagath, he is an archmage. We can't achieve that. Or whatever.
There's
like
NPCs in
World
War called battle mages, and they're
yeah,
like
why? This is all on the whole thing. Why they call him an archmage is because he is on a whole nother level. He's not a fire mage, he's not a frost mage. I mean, Khadgar. I think I said the other guy from the raid, Khadgar. He's not fire, he's not frost, he's not arcane. He's an archmage. He's on a whole nother level. So why can't we achieve that level? Like, we get so badass that you're not a fire mage anymore. You're not a frost mage. You're not an arcane mage. You got into the point that you went in your spec, you picked fire, you became so badass, you did a quest line, you ascended into an archmage, which you do some of your fire spells, you do some of your arcane frost spells, but you do even other things that are on a whole nother level. Like, I know so many people that played mages, when they saw Khadgar cast that arcane blast, that fireball, and that ice bomb thing, and then merge them into one big, huge explosion ball and blow that dam up, they were literally like, WTF, why don't I have that? What is going on right now? That better be one of the spells. That was awesome, And I think it's time that something of the sort, whether fourth specs, ascending, something needs to happen like that, Maybe shamans, they need to, like, go full, elemental, like, depending on your spec, If you're healer, you're, the enhance your elemental, like, you're a healer, you turn into a full-blown water elemental, like, big, badass, like, you heal everyone, Your enhanced turn to a giant rock elemental. Not that little ascendancy thing we got where we get our buff. I mean, whole new group, like, done to the nth level. You are the baddest fucker walking. Like, no one messes with you. You are a deity in the game now. Like, why not, Like, why can't, like, the warriors turn into full raging berserkers? Like, I mean, go Hulk. Like, no bullshit. Like, they 3 times their size, their chest rips off, they drop their shield, they pick up the biggest weapon they find, and they are just an unstoppable killing machine that take, like, 80% less damage than they used to, and every time they get hit, they get even more pissed off, and it gets to the point that, like, it increases their rage, and if they get hit enough, their rage doesn't go away, so they can just spam smash your face, Hulk smash ability over and over and over again, world winning while Hulk smashing and heroic leaping without a cooldown nonstop. Like, why not?
Well, I think it would be awesome to have, like, that would be, because, every expansion is getting very predictable in what happens in an expansion. Oh, the next expansion to come out, we're going to increase 10 levels. There's going to be new... It's like, how, like, those little videos they montage together at Blizzard when this is like, or new 10 levels, new zones, new gear, new this. And it's like, that's not new, because we all have... we do that every expansion. It's not new, but it has to be new. And I feel like that would be really awesome as like like you know how we have the legendary ring, and then of course we're probably going to get a legendary quest line for a weapon. But I think what you're talking about for the ascendancy, I think that having that ability all the time, after a while you get used to it. I think if it was like a legendary ability that you did the quest, and at the very end of the legendary quest you get that ascendancy ability, and it's like a 10-minute cooldown, and it's like when you push that button, you're like, it's fucking on. Like, because if you were to do it like that,
I just was suggested, like, why can't mages fly? You know, like, they're masters of magic. You know, I don't. You know, hell with mages, they shouldn't be able to fly. They, you know, cast your little thing. But I just thought of another thing, like priest ascends into a full archangel. Now, if you're shadow, you become an evil archangel priest. Think about it. Like, you're in that archangel form, you can fly, and I mean for real. Like, your archangel, you don't use a mount anymore. Like, remember Tyrael in that scene where he's fighting the dude? How awesome was that? You do that now, okay?
Or you turn into like a Valkyrie instead.
Exactly.
That would be cool.
If you're a healer, you turn into an archangel.
And warlocks can turn into that metamorphosis demon, fly around straight up.
There you go.
Oh man, that'd be sick. Man, I mean, that's awesome. I think closing out this discussion, thank you all so much for having this discussion and coming up with these ideas.
Thanks for inviting us.
It was a lot of fun. I know this video ran pretty long, but I hope that it was interesting for you guys listening in. I am going to submit this to Blizzard and hope maybe some intern there says, hey Chuck, check out this video that, you know, this Lionofjudah 7 guy did with these guys. They're pretty on the ball about stuff. So yeah, like I don't know. We're all concerned, you know, we're all like, well, not concerned, but we're just, of course, expressing our opinions, you know, via internet forum, which everybody and their mother does nowadays, but you never know who could possibly listen. And if a Blizzard person is listening to this, I really do hope that y'all are as creative as us, because if not, that's pretty sad. That, you know, your subscribers are coming up with better ideas than a whole team of people that y'all have working down there. And if that's true, I can give you my address, I can give you Zeratul's address, and I can give you Mogwin's address. And we would be happy to go in and freaking consult on creative ideas. Cause
and you can always whisper Mogwin Thunderhorn, and I'll give you our vent, and you can come in and listen to us talk.
Absolutely, anytime you want. And just as I like to close my comments with just, you know, I'm sure Blizzard has a lot of money and they got a lot of people in a room thinking things up, and over the years we've seen some pretty bad ideas, so I'm a little skeptical on how great the room of thinkers is. You know, maybe they need to hear the guy that's intern that's typing up TPS reports in the corner, you know what I'm saying, and listen what he has to say. You know, how can 3 guys that, you know, log on every night, you know, a couple other people aren't here, think of some of the most coolest things, you know, a lot of stuff we haven't even mentioned. Like,
oh yeah,
I know personally,
more
me
videos.
and Mogwin have been up for hours at night.
Oh yeah,
literally inventing entire raids, raid bosses, mechanics, how they do it, times, cooldowns, the works. And literally,
just cool world mechanics.
Yeah, world mechanics, and literally at the end of it, just went, wow, how come Blizzard isn't doing anything like this? Like, really? You know, so I kind of, you know, a little challenge of Blizzard, you know, come up with awesome. Good isn't good enough anymore. We need awesome. We need to literally be awed and go, wait, we can do what now? We can cast a spirit bomb while flying in midair? No shit. For real? Okay, you got me now. We're staying.
Yeah. But like I said, I really appreciate you guys for making this video with me, and please comment. You leave any comments you have, you know, if you're an average player, casual player, hardcore raider, please leave your comments below for us to see. We do I personally love to look at all the comments to see what you guys are thinking for yourself. Maybe you can submit some cool ideas for the next video that we do, for the next campfire discussion, of maybe some cool ideas that we didn't even talk about today. But I'm pretty sure we probably have already, because we've talked years.
Yeah, we went for a while.
Yeah.
One thing, if you don't mind, to talk to your viewers is maybe you guys can throw a couple comments in there to possible fourth specs and how they work and what they do.
Oh, that would be interesting. Like I said, leave your comments below, like, subscribe to this video, and you will get fresh content from me as a hunter perspective, and I'm going to be doing the 6.1 hunter guides for you as far as doing survival damage. I probably will be doing one for marksman. I probably won't be doing one for BM. I'm still in debate, but the prominent 2 specs right now is marksman and survival. So why should I do one for BM when no one's even rating as it? So, but I will be doing one for those. Just keep on the lookout for that. Thank y'all so much. I will see you guys later. And if y'all want to say bye.
Bye.
Later.